I have prepared a call for us tonight because I'm seeing a consistent, um, not not issue. There's not an issue, but like a consistent theme. I feel that I think y'all are experiencing, and I feel like I want to teach you what I did not do well. Okay, I really sucked when I still am not good at a lot of things, but when I began, I just was like the worst. I was so scared. I didn't really talk about it that much. And now I like regret it every single day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have like been so much further than where I am now. But we're gonna kind of go back to the basics here of, okay, what are the steps to just follow through to build a business? Because what I've realized over time is that the best way to do this is the simple way. When I started doing like these 5 things over and over and over, this is when things started to pick up for me. And before I started like 100%, I was doing like a lot of extra things, right? So I don't know if y'all remember, I wrote all those like personal development stuff. I thought that would make me different. I started to create all these different content. I started to do all this like extra work because I thought that would make me like above and beyond, which it totally did, but it wasn't what makes people want to work with me, right? And so I spent so much time doing that. And now I'm like, okay, I know now the best way to do it. So I have my little screen here. We're going to talk about just going for it, okay? And how to do it before you feel like you are ready, okay? And I'm going to talk through a little bit about some experience I've had lately. So we're going to get back to the basics. I think sometimes we can confuse, which I definitely am guilty of this, social media time with work time. If you like my Instagram stories, yes, that is considered work, but it's not action steps that are getting me business, right? It is nurturing my Instagram people. It's making those relationships. It's making those connections. But at the end of the day, those are not action steps to making money, okay? But it is important. But just know that like doing Instagram stories, that's like a free time thing for me. That's not considered work time. And I just feel like when we can reevaluate our to-do list and our power list, the like top 3 things or top 5 things that you need to be doing every single day, right? There is a date that I want you to put in your calendar right now. It is June 27th. That's a Wednesday. And I am actually having somebody else that's not Loy to come in and do our team call for us. She is a Beachbody coach. Y'all need to look her up on Instagram. But she is really fascinating. So she actually had a top 10 coach, which if you guys know what that even means, to have a top 10 coach, to be a top 10 coach is freaking ridiculous. But she has she has had a top 10 coach for 2 years in a row as a personally sponsored coach. She's been a coach for 5 years. She has 2 kids and is divorced and has just been through a lot and has built an incredible business. So she's going to come and talk. So really try to make that day the priority. I'm going to be out of town, so I'm going to like open up the call and let her kind of just like go for it. But it's going to be really good. We just had a Zoom call talking about it, and I'm really excited. She is like a hustler, and I love that. Okay. Did you know? And remember, I'm not Queen Beachbody, right? Beachbody is a tool. I got a message today that was like, oh my gosh, like I have never wanted to use Beachbody, but you make me want to use Beachbody. And I'm like, right, because honestly, Beachbody has some of the best products on the market. It just has a really bad reputation just from the way people invite and the way like they just do it not correctly or not well. And my heart is like, hey, like these are the products I use regardless if I sell it or not. I believe in them. I live by them. I know that they're the best. Use them or not, no pressure at all. But I'm going to keep living my life on Instagram and show you how great they are until you come around, right? But Beachbody is the fastest growing company in the shortest amount of time. That's not just network marketing, that's including Coke and Pepsi and like all the major companies, which is so cool. And you guys know they used to use like infomercials and all of that and billboards and to promote their products, but now they only use coaches, right? And so this is like this cycle, right? Like we're going basic. So you need to love the products, which for me, love them. I think they're the best in the market. Number two, you need to know the products. Alex Shook, I don't know if she's on this call, but she did an Instagram story the other day about like some facts about Shakeology, and it was facts that I had not known. And I was like, dang, she's been doing some research. She is getting to know the product, knowing the couple of tidbits, bullet points of each product that you can whip out. Like pre-workout, I say it's plant-based, it's 100 milligrams of caffeine, and it's basically like a cup of coffee, but what really helps you with your workout is it helps the blood flow into your muscles. Those are my points about the pre-workout. Post-workout, it has glycogen, it has amino acid, it has BCAAs, and it has protein. So knowing the products and having that product knowledge is really important. You share, don't really tell, you share about the products and the lifestyle. Remember, this is not just a product business, this is a lifestyle business. Rodan and Fields is a product business, right? It's hey, use this eye cream and run off and use the eye cream. This is, hey, we are shifting the way that you live. We are shifting your mindset. We're changing your family. If you think big picture, like, hey, I want to change your family and your life, the products they just come with it, right? People buy into the life way before they buy into the products. You help people change their life by incorporating the products that you happen to use, right? So you're just living your life, you're healthy, you look amazing, you've lost weight, you feel amazing, you're making money through this, but you happen to use these products, right? And you're sharing them and helping people change their lives with the products. And then you tell those people, hey, this is something that I'm about to have to shift to a little bit more. Hey, you can actually help other people use the products the way you use the products. And it's just a constant cycle, right? And then you teach them to love the products, to know the products, to share, to da-da-da. But what I love about Beachbody is that you really have to help yourself first before you can help others. The biggest lull I had in my business is when I was not taking care of myself. I was focused so much on the business side and not like my personal self. And that is when I had like the least amount of clients, because why would anyone want to learn from me if I can't do it for myself, right? So also please remember, I hate talking to y'all and you start to feel discouraged. That like breaks my heart, because you follow these coaches, you follow these inspirational people, and you're like, dang, they are so good at this. But guys, they started at square one too. We've all started at square one. We've all felt the lulls. We've all been in the valleys, but just don't neglect where people come from, right? They say, it's easy to say this, it's easy to say that, but just don't forget that they have started where you are right now, including me, like big time me. I just now feel like in the last 3 months, I have like made a breaking point. So just know that, okay? I just feel like I need to share that. I want you to think about your social media in a different way. And I'm trying to think about it in a different way too. So the actual post, to me, I don't really love posting. It's hard for me, but you have to do it because of new people that come. They, like, that's the first thing they look at, right? They don't look at your Instagram stories, they look at your feed. They don't know you, but they look at your feed. So think about this, like, think about Instagram as being your billboard, okay? What if you bought a billboard for $1.2 million? I looked up to see, like, the best of the best billboard, how much that would be. You would not waste a single bit of space, right? You would make sure that it is clean. You would make sure that it is inviting. You would make sure that it shares things that are important to you, that it's uplifting. Those are what your pictures need to look like. You need to get the app. Hang on, let me look at it. I can't remember the name. You need to get the app Afterlight 2. And you just need to edit every single one of your pictures the same way. Don't use the Instagram filters. That's what I've learned. Instagram filters cheapen the photo. If you like, you can use Facetune to like whiten your teeth and like brighten your eyes and smooth out your skin if you need to, or something like that. And then use Afterlight to brighten your pictures and contrast your picture, but use that same setting every single time to make it feel really, really good. It has to be public. I know that, you know, sometimes you have like a private page but obviously make sure your Instagram is public, right? I'll come to the questions in a minute. Your picture, don't make it your logo. I feel like somebody has a picture of a logo. Make it of your face. You're bright, you're happy, you're excited to be here. And remember, there was a call that I did about the color wheel. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's a big color wheel, and it was like, hey, write down the things that are important to you. Mine was Austin, my family, fitness. I love home decor. I love clothing. I love self-care. I love makeup. Those are the things that you post about, the things that you love about your life. There's like an 80-20 rule where you do like 80%, you're just like posting about your life. You're posting about the things that you love. You're posting about your journey, your family, whatever. And there's a 20% ask, like a 20%, this is what I need from you. Post the tips, give 80%, give me a 20% ask. And I think that, like, for me, I was sitting there trying to post today. I'm like, oh, it's on my to-do list. I need to make a post. I don't want to post. It's just hard for me. I don't know why. It's just like, I want it to be inspirational, but I also want it to be relatable. And like, the most engagement I get is pictures of just me and Austin without any caption at all. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't like that. I want people to be engaged with good stuff, right? That's important to me. So I was thinking about, what was I about to say? Thinking about my post. And I was thinking about y'all. I was like, dang, this is really hard to like overthink. Just don't overthink it. Just share your heart. That's what I've learned. The minute I start overthinking things and going back and trying to make it sound really good, like the more you sound like you're just talking to a friend, the better. Okay. So we are not going to be thinking about our logo. We're not going to be thinking about our website. We're not going to be thinking about any of that. We are thinking about these three things, okay? Learn and do the vital behaviors, which is be a product of the product, right? Invite people, share, whatever. So essentially, I want you to take care of you, work out, drink your Shakeology, drink your supplements, and then pour into yourself. I have been lacking on this because it is so hard for me to have 5 minutes. You know, now I'm so close to everything now that I've moved. I'm not in the car for like more than 10 minutes ever. But lately I've been listening to Girl Wash Your Face in every second that I have, and it has given me so much more of a fire. And I know that that is the first thing that can just skirt off the list really quick, but pour into yourself. Also, I need you to know that Rachel Hollis, the girl, are y'all reading that book, or has anybody started it? Okay. Rachel Hollis, she does a huge women's conference. It's called like We Rise or something. And she was talking about on her Instagram Live today that the biggest feedback that she gets from that conference is that people can't afford a plane ticket to go. It's too expensive. It's too hard or whatever. She has made the conference into a documentary that is in theaters for one night only on August the 2nd. It is a Thursday night, and I've already purchased my ticket. So essentially, it's her women's conference, the conference that she does in a documentary. August 2nd, Thursday night. It's in a ton of theaters. It's in the Avalon and the Avenue. I think it's in like 700 theaters or something. So you might have to come to Athens or just come here to watch it with me. I don't think it'll be where you live. Okay, next, your goal every month needs to be 3 to 5 people. That is something I did not focus on when I first started. I was very much like, oh, whatever happens, happens. I'll just go with the wind, da 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 da. But it has been proven that each time, that is like a indicator and a way to measure that your business is growing. If you are able to help 3 people each month, that is indicating growth. And it wasn't until that was a priority that I actually started to see growth. When I get messed up in my head is when I am worried about my Instagram numbers, when I'm worried about my engagement, when I'm worried about who is doing what. I can't control that. But what I can control is pushing to help 3 to 5 people. And that is a measurable thing to be able to look and see, okay, my business is growing. And I think it would be wise of you to think through, like, okay, when is the best time to do a push to ensure I get those 3 to 5 people? Is it in the beginning of the month to do a push, and maybe you get 3 people at the beginning of the month and you feel really good about it? Or maybe you only get 1 and you're like, okay, I have the rest of the month to do more pushes. Or maybe it's 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end of the month, so you can get a head start on the following month. Just think through when is the best time for you. I know for me, like, I kind of like just where I'm at right now. I don't think I would have done this when I first started, but where I'm at, I like to start something the last week of the month, because I always get people that come on the tail end and they're like, oh, I missed the sign up. Can I still sign up? And I'm like, duh, of course you can. And that kind of lets them pour into the beginning of the next month, just so I'm secure that I'm getting those points each and every month. I'm going to go through, hold on. Yeah, okay. So when it comes to like finding, I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, okay, I have my 3 people, but like, I don't know what to do with them. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Like, I feel like y'all want to, and I actually, so, okay. See, to think about these calls, I just like go with the wind. I don't like really plan them that well. I booked a call with my upline, and I haven't done that in a long time. And I was brainstorming. I'm just gonna be totally transparent with y'all and just tell you what I'm feeling right now. And I was Stephanie. I met with Stephanie, and she saw my list of applications. And since February, I've had like 549 applicants. And it just happened in February. Okay, this is not. And I was caught, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't handle all these people. I really want to share them with my coaches, like share these leads with them, you know. And she made a really awesome point. And I was like, but this is what my thought process is. I'd share the people, I would be the coach, like, and they would just check in with certain people here and there, and da 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 da. She was like, you can totally do it that way, but you are not setting up your team for success. You are setting them up to be reliant on you all the time. And this is just a season. She said, this wave of people that you are getting, it is just that. It is a wave, and it will not last forever. You will go through times where you have a ton of people, and then you're going to go through times where you have 1 or 2 and you don't know where they all are. And that really made me like have an aha moment of like, I need to equip you to be able to get 549 applicants, or to be able to run your own program, and to feel confident in having a Facebook group that's your own wellness studio where you can lead people well, and to do your own Zoom prep calls. I know that a lot of y'all use my prep calls, which I'm so happy that you use them. Seriously, I do this work like for y'all to use, truly. But I want you to feel really confident in being able to do something like this yourself too. So, and I'm going to go into more details on how to set up your next group right now. And then also share publicly your journey. Remember, we're just sharing. We're not selling, we're sharing here. Okay, now my first people ever were my family. They were my mom and my dad and my husband. And I really used them as momentum to do their progress, right? To share their progress. And not necessarily like, I really wanted to share pictures, but my parents wouldn't let me. They're like, no way. But I could talk about it on Instagram stories, and I could say, hey, give me some feedback, give me some points that I can share with you. And I just rode that wave, because also when others feel like that there is other people doing it, they want to jump on it. So one of the things I used to do all the time, I used to be like, oh my gosh, I have 2 more spots left, only 2. I probably only had like 1 person signed up, right? Like I just made it feel like it was, you know, a hot thing to do, something that everybody wanted to do. Also, don't forget, something that I like struggle with is sharing the good and the bad. I think that I just want people to feel inspired by me, and sometimes I'm just not inspired, right? And sometimes I just don't make good choices. Sometimes I just feel not my best. So I'm kind of trying to be a hold on a sec. Let me make sure y'all are muted. I'm trying to share. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. I only know how to mute this way. Okay, mute, continue. So I'm trying to learn how to do that. Don't forget. Oh, also, why you love coaching. My coach, my upline, we were kind of just like brainstorming and talking through some things. And she's like, hey, right now, she's like, I really need to utilize her more because I haven't been at all. She was like, hey, right now you're known as the wellness girl, right? You are the girl that has all the tips, all the tricks. You're super fit and healthy and all these things. But at some point, if you want to, start transitioning into the wellness girl who can teach other fitness people how to build a business, right? The business builder that teaches others how to build a business rather than the fitness girl that teaches others how to be fit. And so that's something that you can kind of incorporate now, where I'm kind of in a place where I'm like, crap, like, I have to like transition when really I could have been doing both at the same time and it would have been much, much easier. So learn from me, okay? Because people right now are following me for fitness. I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more business stuff, but it's hard because it's not natural at all, and I messed up there. So learn from my mistake there. Okay. Sharing your journey. I can't say that enough. Share your journey. Number 2, this is building interest within your Instagram. I think whenever I started being bold on my Instagram stories, I don't know if you guys remember when I started doing that, just like honestly sharing my opinion and being like so real. That's when a ton of engagement started happening, good and bad, whatever. Engagement is engagement, right? But show recognition. I love using people like Mary Alice and Stephanie as examples because they have kids. They struggle, and Alex, who struggles with thyroid, who is different age groups than me. They're in all different types and ways of life, and I think it's good to share that. Y'all are welcome to take testimonies from Virtual Wellness Studio, cross out everything, and share it, because guess what? It might not be your client necessarily, but they're still doing the program that is proven over and over and over again. So recognize other people. First of all, it feels really good for people to be recognized. And second of all, it makes people feel like they can do it too. The biggest thing I shared today was that, hey, if you travel, like, you can do this, but it's up to you at the end of the day. I got a ton of messages from that because I don't talk about traveling ever because I don't travel, but it was good for people to see that in that season of life of a busy traveling life, you can do it. Recipes, I'm the worst at sharing recipes because honestly, I don't care about recipes. I just want to eat and just move on with life. But people live for recipes, live for them. So share those. Okay. Another thing that I did not do well is invite people. And this is where it gets really yucky. And it can get yucky, but it doesn't have to be that way. This is where Beachbody has a really terrible reputation because people just get in those messages, they get in the inbox, they get in the Facebook Messenger, and they just basically are like sharks, okay, trying to get people. And I get it. It's like sink or swim, you know? But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be really genuine and really transparent. And it can be, so Emma, she, the girl who's going to talk, she said her top 10 coach came from an Instagram. They connected on Instagram through a pair of Nikes that she got at an outlet store. And the coach, Brittany, her name is Brittany Powers, if y'all want to look her up. She's like 90,000 followers now. It's crazy. She messaged her because she didn't have a Nike outlet and was wondering about it. And just because she got in that message, she just started making a conversation with her. Emma does this super well. She made a comment like she'd make a post over maybe like not drinking enough water or something. And if someone liked the picture, she would go back and like look to see if someone looked like her, like they would get along really well. She would message her and be like, hey, thanks so much for supporting that post. Like, do you struggle with water too? Or tell me about your fitness journey or something like that. It doesn't have, but also you do need to be transparent because I think for me, I just expect people to think like, oh, obviously I want you to like buy something from me, right? Yeah, this is how I like make my money. But a lot of people don't quite understand that. So it's okay to be super transparent and say, hey, I like after a series of conversations, after talking through a couple things, after trying to figure out where they are, what, like, I think we get to a point where it's like, okay, I figured out what's worked for them in the past, what isn't working for them right now. I know that Beachbody has an option that could help them. Then you get to a point where you just have to be like, okay, I want you to do this with me. Are you ready to jump in and do this with me? I think we can tiptoe around it a lot, and I'm guilty of that too. But towards the end, just go for it. All they can do is say no, and life goes on. Hey, Austin, he's supposed to be in charge of Cookie right now. Okay, so like I said, it's easy to get caught in the brand and what Instagram to use. Okay, let's talk about personal versus business Instagram here. This is your preference completely. I see the value in starting your personal Instagram. You already have people, you already have followers, and I also see the value of switching to a new one. For me, I was so like, and this is just my personality, I was just scared and I just needed a fresh start. I don't want the weird people from high school, like guys from high school watching my Instagram story, right? It is just a personal preference. I think there is a ton of value in just using your following that you already have. But I also think there's a lot of value in announcing your new Instagram and seeing your tribe kind of come over to your new one and kind of know who your people are. That's really comforting to see, like the 20 people that have come over from your old Instagram or from your personal Instagram to come and support you on your new Instagram. It's like a personal win. It was for me, at least. It felt really good. So that's totally your case. But I just need you to know that your brand and the way you do things. Stephanie, I'm in her Facebook group. She has changed her name 50 times. And guess what? She's going to continue to change the name of that group 50 times. And it's okay. Like, you're just going, I love you. You're doing so good. But it's okay. Like, change it a million times. It does not matter. But she even wrote in it, she's like, hey, y'all, bear with me. I'm figuring out what my name is. People don't care. They don't care. But what's awesome about her is that she has started and she has like 3 people already and it's just going for it 100%. And I envy her bravery and her courage. It's incredible. Okay, here are your basic steps. Ready? This is step 1. Create a post that you're announcing your adventure. Here is mine. I think it was back in 2016, 2015. And it was a boomerang. I'm in the middle of my boomerang. And it says, I'm excited to share that I'm launching my online personal improvement coaching program specializing in health and wellness. I would not consider that my thing anymore. It is a passion of mine to walk with women as they desire to develop new healthy habits to improve their life. I've created a 4-week customized program to teach women how to establish a new way of living. I don't want this to be just another diet plan, and I'm here to make sure that it's not. Every girl is different, and that's why customized is a key word, and fun. Because eating right and exercising shouldn't be hard. It should be fun. Help me get started by liking my Facebook page, checking out my blog and my Instagram, and I post tips and tricks that will help, whatever. So like, you just announce it, right? I think a lot of people are in this group and they're like, what do I do? Announce it. I know it's scary. Number 2, share your journey. That's the only way people know who you are. Number 3, create an application and put your link in your bio. This is just a simple place for people to go. I think that it's important to engage in conversation and then send them to the link in your bio. And you're also getting emails, and that's actually super important. There's a whole million systems to be able to get emails, but this is just a genuine way to get an email and to have that you can follow up with people if they end up saying no, right? Go to my application, take a few questions, leave a few questions. I think for you, if you are engaging in a lot of conversation, I would just get the basics, the name, the email, the program they're interested in, and the best way that they can contact you. Because if you're going through like, hey, what do you usually eat? Tell me what's worked for you. And then they have to go to this application and re-answer everything that you just talked about. That's super annoying. And I also would say, have you ever heard of Beachbody before? Because then people aren't like, oh my gosh, wait, what? They haven't. They're like, oh, okay, it's probably Beachbody, right? Have a start date. So I bought a course for a lot of money, okay? And it's been super helpful. It's an awesome course. It's about webinars, how to make webinars, how to execute them, all of that. They've been awesome. But the biggest thing that she has shared in this course is just to start it, just to do it. So she basically posted a recording of her watching other people do their webinar, and she was like telling them tips or whatever and telling them what she needed to change. And her name is Shannon. I can't remember her last name if y'all want to follow her. But you could tell the girls that were practicing were so nervous. They were so hesitant. Their voices were shaky. That she got to the end of the webinar and she said, great, make a date for next week. And the girls are like, what? No, I'm not ready. She's like, you're ready. Make a date and do it. Your first one is going to suck anyway. Just get it out of the way. Just go and do it. And I was like, that is exactly how Beachbody needs to be. You just need to make a date for your program. Don't wait for my date. I don't know when I should schedule my date much better than I do, but I just don't. I just kind of go with the flow. Schedule your date. Do it for 2 weeks from today. So they have time. So you have time to see the date. Yeah, like 2 weeks from today. So you have time to promote it. You have time to for people to get their products in, and then just start it. Walk them through it. Set a time for a call. Do a Zoom call like I did. I've had an 80% conversion rate from that call. That means 115 people watched it, and I've gotten like over 80 people that have purchased from that call. Okay, you need to set a call, do the program 2 weeks from that call, prep them well, get them started, and encourage them on their journey. That is as simple as it is. It doesn't have to be an elaborate thing where each day is a different day and you have all these things for every day and da-da-da. I used to do that, been there, done that. It doesn't fulfill people as much as just encouraging them and helping them be prepared and feel prepared. I think that's the biggest thing. When people feel prepped and they feel like they know what they're doing. Like people want to know what they're doing, right? That's when they're going to be good to go. And yes, you want encouragement, and you check in with them as you're checking in with like yourself, right? You work out, you do your shake, you post your devotional, or you post what you learned today in your personal development. You post your journey of you working on yourself in that group. And whether you want to do a 30-day group or you want to do a virtual wellness studio, I don't really care, but you're probably going to change it a million times, honestly, but just set a date and do it. Just announce it. You're not going to be ready. Just announce it. It doesn't matter. Stay on top of your applications, because I've been in a place where I haven't stayed on top of them and I have not done a good job. And if you don't have any applications, that's when you need to invite people. And I know it doesn't feel good sometimes, but that's part of the very beginning. You just need to get in your inbox. You just need to look at the people who are watching your stories, look at the people who are liking your posts, and call them out. Be like, hey, I know you're watching me. Like, let's talk. Tell me about your journey. Tell me about what's going on with you. Just start inviting. We've all had to do it, okay? Sometimes I still do it because there are certain people that I know I can help and I want to help them, and I basically force them to do it because I know it would benefit them, right? Not really. I'm talking about, these are a few of my friends. Guys, speaking of conversion rates, I don't know if you remember, I had a friend. Okay, let me tell you the story really quick. So I have a friend. She is one of my really good friends. She's really awesome. She's known doing a business like for a while, but she just recently was like, hey, I'm interested in the program. I talked to her on the phone. I don't do that as much anymore. I used to talk to every single person on the phone. Every single person that inquired, I would call them and talk to them. But I called her. I was like, hey, this is what it's going to look like. Da, 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 da. And I sent her everything. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that like supplements were included in this. I was like, yes. And she's like, I like don't believe in supplements, is what she said. I pulled out every sales trick out of the book, you guys. Like I knew I could convince her, but she was strong headed. She was like, no is the answer. No, no, no. I'm like, okay. I reached out to her once I did the Zoom call, and I sent it to her and I said, hey, listen, I just want you to watch this. Like, just watch this. No pressure at all. Just watch it. And she came back. She's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I think when you start sharing your heart and people see your heart behind it, that it's not just a product to you, it is like a blessing to you, and it can be a blessing to them. That's when people get excited about it. And that's when people get jazzed. Loy always says that when you are talking to people, that it's not an interview, it's an interview. INNERVIEW. And what that means is that you are getting to know them, the inner part of them, means asking about them. I cannot say this enough, but this is what Loy always says. Macy, you're not the hero of the story. Stop making yourself the hero of the story. The hero of the story is the potential client. And you paint the picture of the potential that they have, the hero that they are going to be. The minute, and I just feel like I could say this a million times, the minute that someone inquires and you're like, this is what it's been for me, this is how much weight I've lost, this is what it's been for us, this is what people, you lose people in a heartbeat. You have to paint them in the picture of what they could be with this product or with this program. What would change for them? Would it be their time? Would it be their happiness? Would it be their confidence? Would it be their family's health? Like, what would it be? The 80-20 rule, Lloyd told me this. He said, you know, when people are offered an opportunity, 20% do it. Like 20% go through these steps. 20% are taking the action steps. They're not just scrolling through Instagram. They're making these action steps of just posting the date, pushing the date, getting applications, inviting people, and just starting it. That 20% of people do that. So I always like to say, be that 20%. Not always the easiest. And also, I just want to remind you, there's a call on Mondays at 11 a.m. that are really helpful. The National Wake Up Call, I watched it last week. I can't remember. And she was talking about something as simple as ShareCart. You guys know that that's how you can. So you can either send people a link or you can customize their link, right? So you can add the pre-workout, you can add different, like the beach bars or whatever, and you send them the link, and it's one customized link. And she was talking about how, you know, you go to like Chick-fil-A or you go to your favorite restaurant because of the experience that you get. She said doing ShareCart is such a huge experience that people could have, and stuff. Because my tendency is to be like, hey, just go to teambeachbody.com, like figure it out. Like that's just my personality. And I've been so much better about someone asking you like, hey, I'm interested in this product too. I'm like, oh, let me make you a customized link. Yes, it takes a little bit more time, but it is a way better experience. So it's just little things like that that have really, really helped me. So make that a priority. They also do it on Facebook Live. So you can either call in or they do a Facebook. I think y'all are probably on, do y'all get emails about it? National Wake Up Call? You do? You do. Stephanie doesn't. Okay. I'm going to add you into that Facebook group, Stephanie. Make sure you get on that email list. Let me write that down. I'll post about it. And every time that email comes, it'll say like, hey, starting in X amount of time. And then you just click on the link and it takes you to a Facebook group and you get to see the coach, and it's kind of fun to watch. It's good for me. And there's a bunch of recordings in there. So make that a priority. It's been huge for me. When it's easy for me to like let that slip, but when I don't, it's really awesome. They also have it in a podcast version. So you can call a number, you can listen to it on a podcast, or you can watch it on Facebook Live. Also, when you have questions about the business, you can totally ask me. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be the quickest to respond. A lot of times I put my phone on do not disturb, and then I pick it up at one point and I like go through everything, and then I put it back down because my day would be stuck empty if I just answered people all the time. So but ask me for sure. It's just not, you might not get an immediate answer. A top coach has made a video about it 100% can guarantee. If there is a question you have, there is a YouTube video on it. Just YouTube exactly your question and it will come up. And I hate saying this, the FAQ section of your like coach office has so much stuff. So much stuff. I was just on it the other day and it was really helpful. So just do a little research. Ask me for sure, but do a little research because I'm not going to be the quickest because of my life, you know. And also I like to compare journey of health and also your journey of your business is the same. Number one, it does not happen overnight. My biggest pet peeve is when people message me 3 weeks in and they're like, I haven't had any results. I'm like, girl, I've been working out for 5 years and I still am not seeing the results I want to see all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it frustrates me so much. It is such a long journey. Loy has been in his insurance business for 30 years and he's like, Macy, I'm just now like hitting a point where it's like, okay, I'm enjoying like the reaps of my benefits. 30 years in, I'm 3 years in, right? Think about how much longer that this journey is going to be or potentially be, right? It is such a journey. Just please keep that in mind. You got to track to see your results. So track those 3 to 5 people, track those emails, track your list and your 5 things that you need to do every single day, which is take care of yourself, number 1. Number 2, you need to follow up with people that are in your program. Number 3, you need to be posting. You need to be sharing your journey. And you need to be thinking about that next date. What next date are you going to be pushing? Success is twofold for exercise, nutrition, and exercise. But also, like, you got to do things publicly. But there's a lot of things I talked about on my Instagram story today. Like, I do a lot of little things that I don't share because it's just not fun stuff. But sometimes you got to do the not fun stuff. You got to sit there and you got to just get after it, right? You got to brainstorm what makes you different and you got to push through and invite those people. It takes both. Success is going to look different for everyone. We are all in different seasons. Mariana has kids that are graduated. Stephanie has little ones. I have no kids. Like, my business looks a lot different than someone like Stephanie who's got all these littles right now. And it's going to be different. Y'all's life is going to be totally different than mine, right? Like, my world right now is this. Like, I'm in the sprint to build it to a point that I want it to be. But that might not be your goal, and that's okay. So just know that. Comparisons will lead to joy. It's so sad. Don't be obsessed with other people's success because guess what? Theirs is going to be so different than yours. Yeah, that was my call. That's how I felt inspired. Let me see. I had a chat right here. Disco and Snapseed are great editing apps. Okay, so Emily is like queen Instagram. Okay, she crushes Instagram. Her Instagram is, she said, VSCO and Snapseed are great editing too. Okay, well, I need to write that down. Thank you, Emily. Do you have any thoughts or any questions? I'm sorry I look like an actual boy right now. I'm looking at myself. I'm like, oh my gosh. Let me see. Let me see. And let me unmute you guys. Snap. Okay, cool. So, is Madison on here? Who's the phone? I don't even know. Not Madison. Kaylin. Where's Kaylin? Kaylin got her first challenge pack, which is so exciting. So awesome. Stephanie got some of her first people. Emily, do you want to tell us about how your Glimpse week went?
Yeah, it was pretty good. To be honest, the most active person was like my mom, but you know, that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, it's totally fun.
I've like still been communicating with the other girls.
Awesome.
But they just like really did not communicate at all during the week.
That's okay.
So it's just been more like one-on-one, just following up with them.
Perfect. That's totally fine. Just keep that on your list to do consistently. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I was telling, when I met with Stephanie, she was like, well, 4 people filled out my application, but only 1 like responded. And I'm like, okay, but that's a 25% conversion rate. The average conversion rate is 5%. So to have one person out of 4 people reach out to you is a huge deal. So at the end of the day, it kind of is a numbers game, unfortunately. But the more you nurture, the more you talk about it, that conversion rate will creep up a little bit more. Anybody else? Mary Alice, are you feeling good? She's at Austin's house. Mary Alice is my cousin? Married cousin?
I'm your aunt.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
So she's married to Austin's sister's husband, and she's at my in-laws' house right now. How? Tell me about she's fired up. She sent me a message feeling fired up, so I'm excited for her.
You want to know?
Huh?
I look cute, though. I'm feeling good. You know, I'm really good on social media. I think that I am. And I'm going to a photographer soon.
Awesome.
She'll make me look cuter. And I just are any of you down in the deep south? No?
No, nobody's in the deep south.
Tammy, your mother-in-law, and I were just talking. And I said, you know, I feel like there's nobody for women our age. So I'm 42.
Yeah.
No one cares about us. They really don't. We feel very lonely.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
That we get stuck.
Sure.
So I feel like I have a harder job to do that. These women in my age group, they kind of ease up on me, ask, "What are you doing?"
Totally.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, we'll keep fighting for those people your age.
One wants to get married. I'm like, all right, y'all don't think I'm mean, but I'm like, you're 300 pounds, honey. I don't want to marry you.
Mary Alice does it all.
What's God going to do? He's not going to take the fork out of your mouth. I mean, that's what I want to say. I don't know what to do. What would Loy say?
Well, listen, you just have to like I called someone out today. She's like, hey, my only hesitation. So she had told me that she's like, I love Chick-fil-A. Like I drank multiple glasses of wine each night. Like that would be really hard to give up. And I sent her the video, and she messaged me back. She said, hey, I'm just worried that I'm going to be a slave to the shake. And I was like, totally understand that. I was like, but I'm just going to share this with you to help you see a big picture here. Do you feel like that you're a slave to your wine and to your Chick-fil-A? Like we're all kind of like a slave to something, right? Whatever that looks like, whatever is like your comfort. Maybe it's sweets every night, I don't know. But like, wouldn't you rather be a slave to something like this than your Chick-fil-A and your wine? And she was like, oh, I totally see, I totally get it. Like, I definitely called her out, you know, in a nice way. And sometimes you have to do that. And I'm not scared to do that, though. I know you're not either.
No, if we can just get them to see that being a slave to this really is not slavery at all. It's freedom.
Exactly. Write that down. That was good. I'm going to post that on my Instagram. That was good.
It's freedom. So many different freedoms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Freedom, easier to get into your pants.
Is God going to take that fork out of you?
She posts all these Jesus things. I'm like, girl.
God wants you to be healthy, man. Oh, I'm dying. It's so funny. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Also, Emma, the girl who's coming to talk, she said that she likes to make her calls 30 minutes long because people are more likely to like stay. So I'm gonna try and keep my call shorter. I'm sorry, I can get chatty Cathy, but I just want to help. So I'm gonna cut it now. If y'all have any questions, you can message me. Anybody have questions right now at all?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
Stephanie. She's so cute. Is she not so cute?
Okay, I wrote it down. Oh yeah. So in the first goals, you said help 3 to 5 people each month.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that if you are in the middle of the obsession? And so I'm starting this new one, next week, but then I'm still going to be an 80-day obsession in July. How would I start a new one then?
Great question. So I don't start people the same time that I'm starting something, right? Like I'm doing 2B mindset, but I just started, 67 people on 80-day obsession. I taught them how to do it. I showed them the way, and I'm walking them through it, but we're not necessarily doing the same thing. So each month, you're going to share the opportunity of something like 80-day obsession, and you can be like, hey, I'm on day 40, whatever, and I love it. Like, I'm going to start you on day 1. And then there's a huge value in that, because when you're like 10 steps ahead of somebody, you can share so much that you learned in their journey, in your journey to them. And so that's going to be like not a selling point, but that's a huge benefit. Like, hey, I'm right just ahead of you. So it's fresh in my mind where you are, and I can walk with you through all that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you just present it as a new opportunity.
Yep. And you say, hey, I'm running a new program and I'm going to open 10 spots. So the 10, that's why I have a virtual wellness studio. So I don't have 10 groups that I have to go into all the time and be like, oh, this one's 80-day session that was 3 months ago. This is 80-day session that was last week. This one is 2B mindset. Like, I just need one place or I'll lose my mind. A lot of people do group after group after group after group, and that's totally fine. It's up to them. They can do that, but my brain can't handle that.
I'm with you.
Sound good? Awesome. Anybody else? No? Thanks for being patient with me and letting me kind of take the last week off and then watch that other video. I'm going to post this one on the Google Doc because I think it's a good one for starters for sure. Okay, holler at me if you need me. Woo-hoo! Bye.
Bye.
Okay.